Welcome to SoulWhat, a Soultopia production. Every Tuesday, Michelle and Roger Welch take a deep dive into the intriguing and proactive world of metaphysics, a world beyond our human perception. They'll talk to empaths, readers, and other guests from all walks of life to find out what's hiding under the surface, uncover the mysteries of our modern world, and reveal the answers you need to live a happy, healthier life. Now, here's your hosts, Michelle and Roger Welch.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Roger, you're still dancing.
Awesome.
You like that entry music still, huh?
I know, right?
You want to introduce our guest tonight? I don't want to waste any time.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
All right. We got Amy Zerner, and Monte Farber.
I think in some places they need no introduction because of
just Amy and Monte.
all the things that they've done. But I'm looking at all the products that we will hold up for you guys to see.
They have something new like every month.
Yeah, and
They just don't sleep. They just keep writing.
I think they're cloned.
That's what it is?
I think. So hi, you guys. I really want to read one of these bio. I'm looking at the back of these because we somehow the bio didn't get in here. What I will tell y'all is, and I'm thinking I'm going to read the bio from the back of their newest Oracle deck, the Wild Goddess Oracle deck. I'm going to let Roger read it because he can see it. So read their bio from the back of there, Roger.
Wait, you're sure I can see it today?
Yeah, that down there. But seriously.
All right. Amy Zerner and Monte Farber are wife and husband team behind many beloved projects, including Karma Cards, the Enchanted Tarot, the Creative Oracle that have sold millions of copies worldwide. Amy's award-winning collage tapestries and Monte's wise words combined. Was that wise words or wise ass words? I'm just making sure.
Don't miss the
right. Wise words combine to create matchless spiritual tools based on intuition building techniques and their interpretations of astrology, tarot, alchemy, metaphysics, and creativity. Their useful and beautiful design systems are accessible to anyone with an open mind and heart.
So true. Hi, you guys. How are you doing? Can you hear us? And welcome.
So fun to visit with you.
It's so good to see you. We never know where to start because we have so much to talk about, but we always want to talk about all your products. There's one, I did want to talk about the Wild Goddess Oracle a little bit tonight, but I really wanted to talk about, and I'm going to let you guys talk about this beautiful new book that I received in the mail, and mine has Post-its. No, everyone, yours will not come with Post-its. There's a reason for that. We will tell you guys. But this beautiful book, and I do have it on an easel. We're working on our setup here where things, and the camera angles and things like that. But first of all, just take a look at this beautiful cover and the back of this beautiful book, Enchanted Worlds, the Visionary Collages and Art Couture of Amy Zerner and Monte Farber is at the bottom down here because they collaborate on everything they do, right? Or you guys do. And I was so excited to get this in the mail from you guys. And I have a couple copies that I am taking to, I'm taking one to the museum next week, or not to the museum, but to a friend of mine in the Dallas Museum. And I'm just so excited about it because here's what I want to say about both of y'all. You're just an example to so many people, and your relationship is an example to so many people, number one. And we'll ask you about Zane in a little while. And but all of the work that you've done, it's just, I don't know how they sleep, really.
They don't. Monte was texting me the other night. It was like 1 a.m.
Yeah. Well, I texted this morning and it was like gibberish.
Well,
it was complete gibberish on Amy's thing. They probably thought I was drunk at 5 a.m. and
we speak fluent gibberish.
It was the worst I do is a pina colada. I say pina colada, and then the people always correct me and go, a pina colada, and I'm like, yeah, that. But I want a bunch of whipped cream and coconut flavor in it. But anyway, I was just, I don't know what I was speaking.
She
I
was
was
still
like,
asleep.
Oh,
yeah.
so that's, take the phone away from me. But anyway, we were just so excited that you guys, I want to tell our audience that we would have advertised this a lot more, but because we have a direct connection to these famous people, Amy Zerner and Monte Farber, because we are friends with them. We are proud to call them friends. And that's what I was telling, I don't know where I wrote it or I said to you guys, that the thing about Amy, and both of you together, but your artwork, Amy, your art and your art that is clothing and your art that is, it's wearable art, but not in a cheap sense, in the couture sense. And I want you to tell your journey about that. But you guys are pretty humble. It's hard to talk about all the things that you've done. But then when you get this book, I'm going, why are they talking to us?
Well, that's why we came on the show, is to tell you we're not going to talk to you anymore. No, we're only kidding. The picture on the back of the book is actually in Dallas. It's the University of North Texas. Amy had a show of her work that she and a collector, Tori Gibraltar, who lived down there, put on. She endowed it, and there's Amy's art, and there's her clothes and kimonos and all kinds of stuff. So we have a strong connection to Texas. Before we met you, and now that we've met you guys, it's like a love bond. But not just Neiman Marcus and University of North Texas, because Amy shows at Bergdorf's, which is Neiman Marcus.
Well, you guys are special friends.
Yeah.
We bonded at a tarot convention, right?
Yep.
We did. And
We became friends right away. I even consulted with you, my psychic girlfriend, on the cover of this book.
Yeah.
and
Because we wanted to get it just right. I remember asking you what you thought. And, you only do that with very special friends.
thank
Yeah,
you.
the cover of this book is special. We actually had this really weird conversation with our publisher because we had approved it, but then he didn't think it was good enough. And so we were like, no, we like what you picked. He's like, no, it's not, I don't like what I picked. It was like the weirdest conversation you could have. And then he came up with this one, so we love it.
Well,
This is cool.
we've done tarot decks with my art and Monte's words, and we've done different oracles, and we've done books about astrology. But this book is like a culmination of everything.
This is our
It
museum.
has a chapter about oracles, but it also has a chapter about my fashion, and it has what my process is. And it was quite a journey to pick all the photographs, because it's like 40 years of work or more. Who's counting? But
Well, certainly not me, because I'm so dyslexic. I keep getting in the way of you instead
Monty's
of me.
gone from the picture, but I love the cover. It turned out absolutely
awesome.
beautiful. So whoever
Definitely.
put it in your camera so we can see it.
Yeah.
With the new cameras, it's a little confusing. There you go. You got it in your camera now. And
I like that.
we're
Have a drink.
we're practicing on y'all, with our cameras. But no, show the back.
Yeah,
too.
here's the back with the.
Yeah, and there's that picture of the show Amy had at the University
Yep.
of North Texas. So,
and that's me working on the floor, because
Yeah.
that's how I work.
and that's the cover tapestry Amy did for the new version of the 25th
Oh, I wonder
anniversary.
who owns that original
And I
piece.
do wonder who owns that.
You
That's
mean-
one of the reasons for the post tab, right? What's that called? It's not a post tab, but what
This
is-
one.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
Because you guys have good taste.
yeah. So you own the original of that.
Yep.
Amy works on the floor. That's what that other picture on the back cover is her working on that very tapestry.
Yeah, right.
So
here.
there's a lot of history
Well,
going
you're,
on.
you're mentioning that book a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure.
the
you
we
know, the thing is
postmarked
that
the other one.
we want to have a museum, and until the real thing comes along, this book is the museum of everything we've ever done.
It's incredible. I opened the book, and a lot of times because this is a beautiful book. Everybody who's listening, seriously, I saw a lot of people today were saying my book came in. So people are already getting their books, but the wonderful thing about it is it's not going to be just one of those. It is a beautiful book that you could put out as a piece of artwork itself. The book itself on your coffee table in a place of in your gallery, whatever you have in your home, because the book itself is a piece of artwork, but it's not just that piece of artwork that you set on the coffee table and you never look at again. It's the one that you're going to want to read it. You're going to want to look at all the beautiful pictures and the process, right?
Yeah,
Roger, have you flipped through it? Yeah,
I
you
have. I've flipped through it several times. Pick out a couple pages and the tapestry.
I knew I loved him.
My hardest thing will be to not. This one I will not. I give my word, my solemn oath, that I will not highlight in this book. But I highlight in most of my other books because Monty's words. You do that phrase, waxing poetic. That's a compliment, right?
Yes.
To wax You do wax poetic. What if I
Well, let's
you're
hope that
waxing
is.
poetic.
I do Brazilian wax poetically.
He waxes Brazilian wax poetic.
He waxes those words left
I
to right.
wax those words any chance I get.
So
I knew Roger would like that one.
Yep.
but
But
it's,
just to show people, we wrote the book as if you were coming to visit our home, which I hope you two will come one day. Not everybody who's watching, but maybe everybody, sure. And so here's a picture of Amy's studio, and this is us a little younger, but in Amy's studio. But it's written like the way we would talk to somebody who was coming to the studio. This is when we did this. This is why we did this. And it's not meant to be read in a sitting, though some people do.
Or you can open it anywhere.
Right, because we call Enchanted Worlds because we've done different worlds. Like there's a world of sacred spaces, like the one behind us.
Yep.
It's a tapestry of Atlantis. There's the world of oracles. There's the world of alchemy. There's
Dreams.
dreams, goddesses, the world of love. And each one is a different world of because Amy does so much art. It's true.
And I think the books you write where you take the person's hand and show them a world
Well, yeah, but
in a friendly way.
yeah, but this was the most important one to me because this is our legacy. Now we can sort of like rest on our laurels because it's all in there. Like they used to do that commercial for Prego spaghetti sauce. It's in there because everything's in this book.
So now if people ask me how I make my tapestries, I can just say it's all in the book.
get
Right.
the book, right?
Spread it all out on the floor.
If you read the book, you'll find out that's why Amy did the clothing because she got tired of people saying, "What's your art like?" And she did a jacket and she put her art on the back so she could spin around and say it's like this.
Right. So I don't know if you can turn to that section quickly. I bet Monty can find that section more quickly.
Is that
Not
quick
really.
enough? Is that quick enough?
It's a big book. Well, that's great.
Well, that's
I
one
did
of
one
them.
right there.
Yeah, there's a whole. Yeah, that's one. Get the glare out
And
of
that's
it.
Tori. Yeah, anybody from Dallas who might have known Tori, she's no longer with us, unfortunately. She's up ahead waiting for us. And I mean, but the book has over 300 pictures. Like here's a picture of one of Amy's collectors taken in Egypt of her wearing one of her jackets that she has at Amy's in a real setting that we couldn't set this up. This is not Photoshop. This is real.
That's cool.
So the book takes you all around the world, takes you around our enchanted world. We throw in every world that we got lying around the house.
Well, I will say
one.
that. Wait. Oh, well, those are beautiful. I don't know. So
Yeah, that was the one that was almost the cover, Roger. The one you were just looking at. That because actually, I thought it was a different one, but that one.
Oh, I had that other one too. Yeah, the one I know which one you're talking
walking
about.
in front. That was our model Claire walking in front of Bergdorf Goodman because Amy's been selling at Bergdorf's for 20 years, and that's in there too. Elizabeth Taylor's in there, collected eight of Amy's jackets.
I saw that. Didn't you make? Did you make a jacket, or who'd you make a quilt or some sort of?
Did that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when Elizabeth Taylor turned
75.
75, Bergdorf's wanted to buy her a present because she spent so many millions of dollars there, and they knew she loved Amy's work because she had bought 8 of her jackets, so they asked Amy to make her a healing blanket.
That's amazing. So that's in there too. So see, I have read some. I've
That's
had a
good,
chance.
Michelle.
Yeah. So it's in the book, and I saw.
You can highlight it if you want.
Nah,
It's your book.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be highlighting this one.
Wait, I think it says Roger and Michelle in the front.
It is to Roger and Michelle. You signed it but it's not just mine.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Dear Roger, Michelle and Roger. Yeah, mine too. Don't highlight this book.
Yeah, well, it's a picture book, so you'll like it. playing.
It has big letters and small words. It's okay.
Well,
It's
another thing is we tried to make it not just like it's our museum, but we try. This is an Instagram time, so we try to make it so that there's little text, picture, little text, picture, because we know people don't have time.
It's
You want,
concise.
take it in a bite.
Yeah. Well, and I really do believe this one, and I told Roger now, if I don't know if it has the name under it, because we have some, you were nice enough to give us some prints too, and I have on Amy's necklace, one of my favorite necklaces. I'll come back to, let's come back to the celebrities you make necklaces for, or who've worn your necklaces besides Michelle Welch. But
There is no one besides Michelle Welch.
the other celebrities, the famous ones. But I think this is a book that you definitely want to get, I think, as a gift for Christmas. I used to always say your cookbook. I would still say that's a great Christmas gift. I also think your wellness, remind me of the name of that goes through all the different
for
sizes.
wellness. The reason it seems like we're doing so many things is because of all the supply chain stuff. These books, like Goddess Oracle and this book, were supposed to come out months apart, but they ended up coming out, a month apart because they didn't get off the ships until recently. So that's why it seems like we're doing so many. But all our books are doing really well, thanks to you and Soultopia.
Oh no, and all your fans, and the fact that you found a way a long time ago. Long. No, I'm kidding.
I tell you, that's true.
You found I can't hear. What was that?
That was me imitating an old person.
Oh, I was like, who is that? Is that like somebody breaking into? Do that again, Monty.
My cracky young lady, you be careful
I
now.
was like, who's crashing our show? But I think that I was buying a couple of, after I went to the doctor today, he said to go right home and rest for my little pinched nerve in my neck. And so I went straight to the store and bought Christmas presents. and it's a store that I have, we can go in a lot of stores now. And
It wasn't the gun store, though.
We'll see it wasn't your Christmas
Too
present.
bad, Roger.
But we'll see a lot of times. I'm always looking for y'all's products because you guys had the foresight to know how to get a product into not just people who were already interested in this, these types of things, but maybe they pick it up, the karma cards, they pick it up. It's something maybe they had a little bit of interest, but you get them into mainstream stores.
Well, that's what we've been trying to do, and our publishers have listened to us. Schiffer's been particularly good. They got Amy's Creativity Oracle into Joanne Fabrics.
Well, we've been doing books since 1988, and I think it all started with the passion for astrology and tarot, since we were young. And I think when you infuse something with that love and passion, it has a great momentum. And we've always been the type, if the door opens, we kind of run through it. I've been that way with the fashion and the jewelry and all the books that we do. If somebody gives us a green light, we
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Well, the first rule of working is get the job. So if they say, "Can you do this?" It was like, "Sure," and then we're like, "Well, how do we do this? We'll figure it out."
Well, our first book, Karma Cards, started with Monte loving astrology and talking astrology wherever he went, and people said, "We love this. We wish we could do it. Can we take you home? Because he's so entertaining about astrology." So that's where the Karma Cards started, which came out in 1988 and
still going. We've sold
selling.
over 3 million books in 18 languages. Karma Cards just came out in Chinese. And I think it's because when I write, I remember what it's like not to know about this stuff. I remember what it's like not to believe in it. And I don't disrespect my audience for not believing what I'm saying. It's up to me to prove it. So that's what I've tried to do, and be respectful of the people I write to. I don't need to hear the sound of my own voice.
Well,
So
we
I
all
do-
like to hear it. We all. You're nice enough to post things almost every single morning. It's not just a little dinky post. You're not reposting something that somebody else wrote. every morning you're writing for free to all of us who you could, be charging people for this information. You're writing about what you see in the charts and for our nation, for what's going on in the world, and you give really good advice. And some of us listen, and then some of the time, some of us don't listen like we should.
No,
But
no, listen.
Not sure why
Like
you
I
looked at me
said,
when you said
when I
that.
first met Amy, she was studying astrology, and I was studying Amy, so I learned astrology. But I used to think it was crap. So I don't disrespect anybody who thinks it's crap. It's up to me to show them, I guess, that I'm not an idiot and that there's something to it. And the main thing about our work is Amy's art. That's what it's all about, which is why Enchanted Worlds is such an important book to us. It's her second coffee table art book. Not only that, but Amy's included in two. There's a publisher that's the best art book publisher in the world. It's called Taschen. And they're doing a series called The Library of Esoterica. And the first one was tarot. Amy had 3 pieces of that.
well,
And she's,
yeah.
you'll see her work. Right. You saw it on the
right.
airplane. Your
Well, do you
daughter
remember?
bought it for you, right?
Yeah. So I had it, and I carried the heaviest book I could find onto
It's
the
huge,
airport.
yeah.
And with the neck ache, I carried the heaviest book I could find. It was that book. My daughter had given it to me to my birthday back in July, and I hadn't really had a chance to go through it. And I'm on the plane, and I'm thinking, okay, this is the premier artist are in this. And so
Yes.
I'm thinking, where's Amy? And and I didn't go to the index because I was reading. I read the book, okay? I didn't just look at the pictures. I was reading everything. And then, of course, there Amy was, and again, and again. And I told Monty, I was like, Amy's in, your artwork's in some book. And he's, what book is it? And then he figured it out that, okay, it's okay that it's in that book, you guys. But it was a good story because I didn't know, I forgot what book I was reading. I just knew that it was like, really the heaviest thing I could carry. It would have been my 50 pounds right on the plane, in the suitcase.
And Taschen is the top of the heap, just like showing at Bergdorf's Neiman Marcus is the top of the heap, and to have 3 pieces in there right next to the ancient tarots and all the art that they show there is the art related to the tarot. It's like a library or like a school book, that thing. And then they did one on astrology, and she has a couple of pieces in that too. So she's recognized, besides the fact that she won the National Endowment for the Arts Award.
Amazing. Yes.
She's recognized as one of the great artists in the world, and that's why Enchanted Worlds comes out. They don't, it's not a vanity press. This is done by a publisher of art books.
So I have I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Amy, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as an artist, doing the books and doing the series of, 78 for the Enchanted Tarot and 52 for the Wild Goddess, I love immersing myself in a big series like that. And so many people get to experience it because the art world itself is kind of elitist, and it's not a big world, the art world. So, to go mainstream, like you were saying, I think it's important to us to have people experience our work that way. And when people use tarot cards and oracles, they consult them all the time and see my work all the time. So
They live with it.
books have been a wonderful vehicle for our creativity.
That's why we're friends with Marianne Williamson, who actually ran for president. But she sold books she sold millions of books. The reason we're friends is because she used the Enchanted Tarot every day. Used to sit next to her bed, and somehow we all got hooked up through mutual friends and got to know it. But it's those of you who were watching CBS on Saturday morning would have seen our friend Audrey Flack on there this past weekend talking about how there needs to be more women artists. Audrey Flack,
Well, there are women artists that are just not recognized.
Right. Well, Audrey is Amy's biggest fan. They show together. Audrey does not do 2-person shows, but she did one out here in Southampton last year with Amy.
Well, it's an expose about, even though, we live in this time where you'd think it would be more balanced, there's only 11 in museums, 11% of the art represented is by women. So only 11%. That's not very good. And it hasn't changed very much, since I was young. So, there's still a lot of work to be
Sexism,
done, and there's a lot of sexism,
right? And
unfortunately.
Audrey was the first woman artist to be included in Jansen's History of Art, which is the art book, speaking of art books, that
Right.
people used to study. I don't know, it might not be, I don't know, something balanced enough to be studied anymore. But it was because of Audrey that Marie Cassatt got put into that book. Because so there's a little bit of revolutionary in Amy Zerner's work, and that's in Enchanted Worlds too, because Audrey always told Amy, don't get in the art world, it's too horrible.
So
Go around it.
So I have a question after I read these, but a couple of so at the beginning the tributes to you guys in the front of the book. First one is from Audrey Flack. Amy Zerner and Monte Farber are role models for this new age. They offer their vast knowledge and multifaceted talents to inspire and enrich others. Their vision is holistic and healing. This is art that can help you live your life. Also from Louise Hay. I love people that look at life the way you both do. For Marianne Williamson, Monty and Amy share their own enchanted love, helping all of us to transform our fears and shadows into love and light. Their magic is both potent and practical. Gerald Epstein has Richard Bowles. I was like Judith Orloff. Is it Christiana Strasfield? Y'all can pronounce that for me.
She's from our local East Hampton Museum. She's the curator.
I just didn't want to mess up her name, and it goes on and on. Just famous, and friends too, I'm sure, and probably famous in your area. And but one of the things I wanted to ask you guys is, and we will talk definitely more about the book. But when you mentioned Amy starting at Bergdorf, and you and I had talked about this, Monty. She started at Bergdorf. You guys kind of started at the top, and you hear that saying. So this is my little interview question. You hear that saying of once you're at the top, where do you go from there? And you guys just keep seeming to go up, up, up. So how do you answer the people who say, once you're at the top, there's nowhere to go but down, those kinds of things? I mean, because
that's true, but at the same time, we'd just like to stay there.
That's cool. Yeah.
The fact that Amy stayed in Bergdorf for 20 years, we've seen a lot of designers come and go there.
Yeah, so that's why I thought we had a really interesting conversation there about that, and the way you were telling me as personal advice is one of the ways you've done that is to be very clear about your focus and very clear about what your mission is, and
and to sell. Because as we like all the people we work with, and we always have a good relationship with those people. But if you don't sell at Neiman Marcus or Bergdorf, you're out of there.
You're out of there.
You know how it is.
Yeah, I know people who've sold to them, and they would make like a pillow for the Christmas catalog, which I always looked forward from being from Longview, Texas. We would drive to Dallas, and we would go to the North Park Mall. That was there was the downtown Neiman's, and actually Soultopia's read for corporate Neiman's. We've done readings for their parties at Christmas, but we would go to the North Park Mall. My mom would take me. She'd even get me out of school to go into Neiman Marcus, and it was always so pretty. Again, affiliated with Bergdorf, and it is the and everyone knows that's you're in one of the nicest stores, and so but there's people. She made these for the Christmas catalog, which everybody I'm sure knows about, that comes out. She had made these pillows, and they were kind of that New Mexico design, that feel
Southwest.
to them. Southwest, thank you. And that's why I'm not the artist. And so they had that feel to them. And she told me, Michelle, if you ever decide to do anything that you think is going to go into Neiman, she said, because she knew some people that helped her and told her how to go about doing it. She said, but you cannot have one thread. I'm sure, Amy, you probably have liberty to do what you want, but you cannot have one thread on a pillow a different color than what they have in that magazine, because if it's different, the fringe is a different color, that will not be acceptable to them. The standards are that high. And
no, it's 100% true. When Amy first a person saw her work, she had that jacket so that she can turn around and say, I do this. And someone said, I can sell that. It turned out it was someone who was a personal shopper for Neiman's. And when we went for the appointment with the vice president of Neiman's, They turn the clothes inside out to see the quality of the workmanship or the workwomanship. And if it doesn't look good on the inside out, they don't get it.
Well, I also think you can't compare yourself to anyone else. I mean, this is kind of metaphysical, where we should know ourselves and know who we are and be attuned to who we are and what we're good at. So I knew I wanted to make one-of-a-kind pieces because I'm an artist, and that's where I come from. I wasn't going to get into manufacturing. They're handmade. And when you're on the right path and the doors open, for instance, when Neiman Marcus ordered 50 of them, so this was like a whole new thing for me.
And they're all one of a kind.
So
That's
they're all one
the
of a
hard
kind.
part.
But then
Right.
somebody introduced me to a tailor who lived like 3 blocks from me. Like, we live in an area, well, it's a lost art anyway to find couture tailors anywhere in this country anymore, but he's French, and he was so talented. He became part, that's
There he is.
Michelle. So he became, we totally bonded, and he became part of the family, and, it changed his life, it changed my life. So I think, you really have to be open that the universe is going to send you what you need when you need it, or else I would have gotten so intimidated and maybe turned down this opportunity thinking, how was I going to do it? But I think it's also, artists, writers shouldn't think, oh, there's so many other writers, so, why should I even try?
Right.
Or if I thought about, real fashion and all of the talented other fashion designers, it would make me think, why me? Why should I do it? But, I do my own thing, and that's the important part of it.
When Amy first got into Bergdorf Goodman, it was because they had what you were saying before, like a wearable art boutique called Ubico, which was also in San Francisco, and they had like an outpost at Bergdorf's. And there were 80-something artists there. Amy was one of them, and Amy is now the only one that they still kept, because when they closed it, she had evolved her work to be couture, fashion-forward couture.
But I also come from kind of hippie roots. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, in the late 60s, we would hand bead our jeans, and we would embroider and tie-dye. So everything I do now is kind of, that was like the birth of it, because I loved it so much. And also I loved scouting for vintage clothes. So again, you got to do what you love, and everything falls into place then.
Michelle, you held up a picture of our model Claire in front of Bergdorf's, and the picture that's next to it is a piece that's owned by a woman named Alla Pugacheva, who, if you tell any Russian person, she's one of the most famous people in Russia. And that's, that one.
Well, those are the kind of people that shop at Bergdorf's,
Exactly.
which has been quite an adventure, meeting all these cool people, very strong individuals, people that work in the arts as performers or curators or
Patti LaBelle.
Philanthropists.
Patti LaBelle performed in Amy's clothing when she did a gospel tour, and she said that the clothing actually helped her get in the mood. Not that she needs clothing to get in the mood. She's so talented.
But it's very intimate to work with women, and how they think of themselves and how they want to project themselves and how they think about their bodies. I've learned so much about psychology, and knowing astrology really helps me with that. And when I do a special commission for people, lots of times I do their astrology charts, and it helps me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Colors and textures, and
that's all in the
stories.
book. Everything we're talking about is in the
Get the
I'm
book,
telling you,
guys.
we squeezed everything in there with like a lemon squeezer. It's all in there.
Yeah. So tell us about a little bit about your jewelry, Amy.
The jewelry.
Your jewelry.
So the jewelry started. We had a book of goddesses that came out in 1991, and I was approached by a jeweler in Thailand that wanted to make silver renditions of and portraits of the goddesses that we had in that book. So that was the start. Again, I always made it, like in high school. I made my own bracelets and jewelry, and since I was a kid, doing what I love again. And then eventually, when I was in Bergdorf's for a little while, one of my buyers became the jewelry buyer. And she said, since you're an astrologer, why don't you design a very cool astrology line? So yeah, of course, yes.
We don't say
Yeah,
we
you
don't
can
say
say
no to
no.
work at the Enchanted World.
Well, I like these opportunities and challenges, even though they can be stressful, because you have to learn a whole new industry. You have to make sure everything's perfect, like you said, for Neiman's and Bergdorf's. Neiman's also sold my jewelry. So for about 7 years, this astrology line was one of the best sellers in the department where I was selling.
Right.
And I kept coming up with, and my buyer was so great to work with. She'd say, let's do something on this theme. And so I would get to work, and it was very collaborative.
Yeah, and then Rihanna's buyer actually bought. We didn't
The
give
stylist,
it to him.
yes.
The stylist, excuse me, bought one, and she wore it throughout the whole 777 tour.
Yeah, I was
We have a
looking for that.
we even have a picture of that in the book. That's the only
Yeah.
picture we had to pay for. I took all the other photographs, but we had to rent that one from Getty Images.
I was looking for that picture, and I've been flipping through, but I see so many other things I love because I'm always looking for my next thing that. And but
The
Roger,
sparkles got her.
yeah, but so I
Yes.
forget about Rihanna. I started looking at the clothing again, so I couldn't find
The
Rihanna.
clothing's awesome. It
So,
really is.
no,
And
the jewelry's beautiful too. Here's the picture with Patti LaBelle. I'm going to show everybody, and you're not going to see too many people because you're going to buy this. But I'm showing y'all some teasers.
There's 323 color plates. So that happened.
yes, Amy was
our
very
life
brave.
is very magical how we meet people. So we were at it was sort of a private concert.
Yes, I mean we're in
Monte
the,
goes, go up to her. So, because he's more gregarious than I am. I'm Scorpio rising. So I said, okay. So anyhow, I had some pictures of my things, and she was so enthusiastic. She said, I've been looking for this stuff all my life. So I designed some things for her to perform in, and we met with her, and what a cool, talented.
oh my God,
person.
she's so funny. And then she liked Amy's work so much she actually gifted jackets to Martha Stewart and to Oprah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how they got them, because we include that in the book that they have them, but they got them as gifts from Patti LaBelle.
Because she was on their show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger, you want to hold it again?
Yeah.
Because, I'm not going to try. I'm not trying to get off the subject of that one. I just do want to remind people
No, we
about
understand.
this
The
wild
thing
goddess
is that
oracle.
like when we get introduced for a podcast or whatever, it takes so long. And one of the reasons it's all in Enchanted Worlds because there are eight worlds in Enchanted Worlds. We do a lot of different stuff.
Right. So that's the table of contents, really, is the worlds right at the beginning, or is that not?
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the Wild Goddess Oracle, I will say to you guys though, this deck.
It's
this oracle
gorgeous.
deck- Thank you,
We're so
Roger.
happy.
I show Roger while I'm talking. I love the creativity deck, but I'm going to tell you that I love this one. I think I'm not going to choose. I'm just going to say this is the goddess
It's like
one
the
I
kids.
work
You
with.
can't choose.
We're the same. We're the same way. And you use them at different times for different moods and different inspiration. But that the Wild Goddess we did during the pandemic. I mean, I got to work right away because it was crazy, right? We had to stay sane, and that's what keeps me sane is making my healing art because it heals me and empowers me. So that's the energy in this deck. It's 52 archetypes that we all have within us and that we can all recognize in other people and that appear at different times. So we got the teacher, we got the dreamer, we got the traumatized.
We got the warrior and we got the warrior. We got them both in there.
Well, so we collaborate. I do the images first. And I was just like, they were pouring out of me.
Yeah,
And it's very diversified. It's very ethnically diversified and culturally
Yes, it is.
diversified
Yes.
in the imagery.
that was very important to us to do. The creativity oracle came about because Chris from Schiffer, Chris from Red Feather.
Yeah, we like him a lot. Yes.
He's a great man, and we
It's
had.
very intuitive.
He's so intuitive, and he's the publisher of Red Feather, and he. We had signed up to do Enchanted Worlds. He said, you guys should do a creativity oracle. We're like, okay.
I think he said, you should have something come out before the art book, and maybe something about creativity.
Right. So the next thing he knows, it's sitting on his desk because, we get to work right away with the shoemaker and the L. So that's where
Well, as a writer, something triggers that this is the right thing. This is what needs to come out. It's always like gestating, and all of a sudden it's ripe to be born.
And the way the Wild Goddess Oracle happened is Amy did the art to help her feel sane during the pandemic, because she makes art when she's happy and when she's sad, like a bee makes honey. And then we got a call from a publisher who had left. One of the companies is acting as an agent. He says, I really would like something from you. I really loved working with you on he was on the Enchanted Tarot 25th edition. And Amy said, well, I happen to have something. So that's where that came from. Yes, it's easier for us because we have a track record. But I think if there's a lot of people who have a creative project they'd like to get out there, that's what the Creativity Oracle is for. The Wild Goddess Oracle is for everybody.
I think they're both for everybody in a way too, though.
Sure.
But I get what you're saying. And the Wild Goddess Oracle, I just have been trying to pull, because I have a deck at home, for myself, and I every morning I'll try to pull a card, and I always read what you guys, if there's something to read about I don't read what everybody writes about their decks, because I don't connect with every deck that comes in the store. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
understand.
But
There's a lot of them.
yeah, and we're getting more particular about what we pick to put in there. But I really love this. I think maybe the next piece I want is one of them from the Wild Goddess from here. Roger, hint, hint. Yeah, it's
They're small. They're small. They're very reasonable, Roger.
Okay, good.
I want
The
to.
paper. Amy glued them down.
I love all the pieces that you pick. I mean, it means a lot to me, you guys.
We were
was
just
hard
so
to
happy
pick.
that we could get you in there as collectors, because we were like, they're sending it to the printer and we're still sending them files.
Yeah, we got it on that one. We got in right by the skin of our teeth.
yeah,
I think,
exactly.
right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So
We always put the message on the back, not always, but we try to make it so you can just pick a card. You don't have to become an expert reader right away, but you can get a message with 1 card reading or 3 card readings, and then you can look up deeper meanings in the book.
This is the.
that's what I was. Thank you for finishing my point, Amy, because that's what I was trying to get to. That I forgot what I was saying about when I was looking at the book, or I don't look at the book. That's exactly where I was going. That's what I like about the cards, because you can get a little bit about what you guys, your wisdom from the card, and then you can go deeper and look into the book if you want, or just look at the picture and get lost in the picture and interpret the picture. When I do intuitive classes, and I'm sure y'all have heard this, but I'm telling people who are listening, one of the best things to do is to go to a museum, or you can do that's what you're doing with their cards, is you're going to an art gallery, right? So you're going to an art gallery by looking at these cards, and I say go to an art gallery, okay? So get these cards, the same thing, and just describe what you see on the card. And if you just
Yes,
And that people need to build some confidence to do that. And you help them to feel safe, to say what they see and what they feel. Monte has a funny story. He worked in the movie business before he started doing books, and he worked on a special at the Metropolitan Museum with
I know what you're going to say.
with a very famous art authority.
Professor Vincent Scully. I know it sounds like Vince Scully, the sports announcer, and he loved it when they thought that's who he was, because he got really good hotel rooms. But he was a professor emeritus of art and architecture at Yale, and he taught all these famous architects. And he was standing in front of an image of Aikens, I think.
Well, the documentary was him speaking about all these famous art pieces.
In the American Wing, and he goes, "See these scuffed shoes on this man? It means this, that, and the other thing." And then the director's like, "Oh, hold on, we got a hair in the gate. Can we do that again?" And he goes, "See these shoes? It means this, that, and the other thing." Completely different.
yeah.
So he would see something, and that's the way it is when you read the cards. Different things pop out, or depending on what your question is, you'll see something completely different.
Well, I was friendly enough with him where I could ask him by that time. I said, "Professor Scully, I don't want to annoy you, but You said something completely different the second time. He says, "I go with what I feel."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. You know,
And
you
plus,
said
you
you
can't-
said
you
when
can't
you
say
got
anything to him.
you said when you got to know him, was that like 5 minutes later, Monty? You're so friendly. You get to know people really fast.
No, I work with, when you do a film like that, you work with them for weeks and weeks. Actually, the liaison with the Metropolitan Museum was Caroline Kennedy, President Kennedy's daughter.
No,
At the
now
time,
see,
she was working as one of the liaisons with the film. She was actually great. She was a really nice, down to earth person.
I really like her. I like the book she writes. Is it her? No, it's Maria Shriver that writes a lot of books.
Nothing would
is it
surprise me
both?
about Caroline because she
Yeah.
was very smart, and she
Yes,
actually
Lord.
the crew liked her, which is very unusual because usually they're
You're so jaded.
they're very particular. But they
Didn't
treat
they make fun of her
yeah
outfits?
they started making fun of her as if she was part of the crew.
Yeah, I really like her, and I will tell you one of the things. This is totally off the subject, but I love watching. Usually, it's on YouTube. I love watching the at the Kennedy Center where they do every year. Now I'm going to draw a blank, but somebody will sing the songs of like say somebody. Elton John, and they'll play tribute to him, and they'll have different people singing. So it's the night at the Kennedy Center or whatever. I'm from Texas, but I was like, so I'm not always looking those up and looking. And I love Broadway, and so I mean, I think I'm this Texas girl who maybe was meant to live a little bit in New York because I love everything there, right?
Yep, everything.
Yeah. So I love Broadway, and I love. I think that when I watch that, I'll look it up literally on YouTube. I don't know if they have done it the past couple years, but it seems like every year they'll pay tribute to somebody, and it's really cool.
Yeah, the version of Led Zeppelin doing "Stairway to Heaven." I mean, it's the woman from Heart.
Yes.
Did "Stairway to Heaven" at the Kennedy Center. That's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life.
What is that called? A night at the Kennedy Center, something like that. You guys, if you haven't seen it, watch
somebody.
it on YouTube.
Our friend Khalid.
Our friend, he's passed now, but he discovered the Who. So when the Who was honored at the Kennedy Center, I dressed his wife, who was a good friend of ours. So that was exciting because she brought back all kinds of pictures with. I think President Bush was president then, and
It might have been, yeah.
they were photographed with everybody
Oh, that's
that
really
night.
cool.
Yeah,
So,
they do great stuff at the Kennedy Center.
so Amy, is there any color that you don't like working with?
Purple.
That's so funny. We just recently had an art collector look at Amy's work and say the same thing that her tailor said when he first met her. He says, "Your color sense is so extraordinary because you put colors together that I would say do not work, could not work, will not work, but they work when you do it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes my tailor, because I make this map of how everything's supposed to come together that he ends up sewing. He says, "This isn't going to work." Well, he doesn't really say that anymore.
No.
But then when it works, but I think I've learned to love all colors more. I used to not really like yellow, but having to do commissions and I don't like white. But when I do a commission for someone, I have to do their colors. So it makes me make something that I wouldn't normally make because otherwise I'd be making it all for myself.
Yeah. That goddess gown that you made in white, though, wasn't that in white? I mean, that one's the prettiest. If I had to say the prettiest, but it's hard to say. But I remember me going, "Okay, I want that." And he's like, "Where are you going to wear that, Michelle?" It's like, "On the runway."
Look at this. Look at this.
I'm
Look at this.
going to just wear it to Soultopia. And so,
She'll come.
Just wearing around Soultopia. I
She'll
think
come in the front door and stroll
that way,
through.
Michelle,
Here's
like
your
me. Because
champagne.
people do sometimes, they say, "Well, that's so fancy. Where am I going to wear it?" You wear it to go to the grocery store. What are you kidding?
It's-
me?
I wear Amy jackets to go shopping. I don't care.
oh,
Go
well,
down to Walmart with it.
I'm not
I've
going
gone
into
to Walmart
Wally
with 'em.
World.
You know,
I'm not a fan of Wally World just because they're
You'd be dressed
loud.
up. Everybody else is in their pajamas.
No, it's just because it's so
You do
loud.
it for
in
other
there.
people too. It's like people love it when you wear my clothes.
We are so offended when we go to town. We live out in East Hampton, Long Island, and people come out here and they wear T-shirts and shorts and flip-flops.
Well, during the pandemic, it got pretty bad.
Y'all will be offended by
Didn't even
what
bother to
Roger
get
wears.
dressed, right?
Yeah, they were wearing their
actually-
pajamas, just
I've
like you
actually had
said.
on pants tonight.
Roger put on khaki. He has some
Have
pants
pants
on for
on
y'all
tonight.
tonight. To be very impressed. He
Well, that's
doesn't have on
formal.
shorts.
He's gone formal on us.
I usually have short pants on. The last 2 days, I've wore actually long pants.
So have y'all ever heard the
I've
story?
always like to dress up.
Well, do
Even
you
when
dress Roger, Michelle?
No.
This is my second marriage, and I learned my lesson. You don't do that. So he can dress however he wants, and
Wait, what?
you're speaking a foreign language now, Michelle.
I
No, Amy,
tried. I got
even
a
before
shirt.
I met Amy, I used to dress up.
Yeah, Monty likes to.
Well,
get
because I was a musician, I was a performer, so I would always wear stuff. But I had pink shirts and vests and stripes and this and God knows what. As a matter of fact, me and this drummer named Butch Funkyfoot Walker were walking down the street in Greenwich Village. We were playing with Curtis Knight, who's discovered Jimi Hendrix, and this gang of guys came up to gay bash us, and we didn't know what they were talking about. We
Yeah.
were like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And then Butch said to them, "Listen, when I got up this morning, it wasn't to come out and be screwed around with by assholes like you." And then they realized they were just about to get killed, and then they all left.
But Roger, he does. You do like to dress up. It's
yeah.
the truth is he does. He just doesn't. Every time he's coming up to Soultopia, it's all the Carrollton store that we're in right now. The first store, the main store, is all rearranged. Last night he rearranged the whole. Amy, he redecorated the whole store.
Wow, Roger.
You mean for Christmas?
No, just because I wanted to change it around.
That's so interesting because Monty just did that in our basement.
Yeah, if I could do that, I could do anything.
But
We like that, right, Michelle?
I like it in my living room so I can put up my beautiful tapestries that are in this beautiful book called Enchanted Worlds, and that Michelle and Roger Welch have two of. I would love it for we're getting going, right?
Oh yeah, we got new furniture for in there and ready to go.
So now it looks kind of, the art will be the color. The art, we didn't do a lot of color so that the art can
Yes.
shine, right? And we'll have some
Where to
crystal
go?
pieces.
Neutral, so then it shines.
Yeah, that's what we did, or Roger did, because he's our
Okay.
decorator.
Roger, what's your rising sign? I know you're Scorpio.
Scorpio, Gemini.
Gemini rising or
Aquarius.
Gemini-
No, Aquarius. It's Aquarius.
Rising.
Yep.
Oh, do you like cobalt blue to wear?
Yes.
Well, there
Because
you go.
rising signs a lot, the
Favorite
colors
color.
that you choose to wear.
I wish I could find cobalt blue to wear.
This is
That's hard to find.
blue, but you know,
Nice.
close
Very nice.
in there.
So
That's
you got
really-
the Scorpio black with the cobalt blue rising sign.
So that's really cool how you did that. Let's try it again. Okay, so Matt, what rising sign? Matt, do you know your rising sign?
You'll have to look it up for me.
I don't.
Okay, I'll look
I
it
have
up.
to look it up.
My rising sign is Libra.
So
Well-
it's blues.
Yeah, that's why you.
That's why you love that turquoise blue.
And
Yeah.
that's why you dress so nicely. Libra risings are usually the best dressed people.
Yeah, because it's ruled by Venus.
Yeah, and Amy's a Scorpio rising, but she also has Venus and Taurus, which is also beautiful. They
Well,
like nice clothes and
The
Moon in
Scorpio
Libra.
rules, burgundies also and deep purples.
Yeah,
Will
people
you-
don't realize astrology is a lot of fun. That it does have correspondence to colors you like.
How you project yourself,
Right.
even your gait, how you carry yourself.
In Mindful Astrology, which is another one of our books that came out during the pandemic, we talk about the rising sign. The rising sign is how you appear to other people. It's the sign that's on the horizon at the moment you're born. And if you don't know your rising sign, you don't know how other people see you. And it's like getting dressed in the dark.
So we're about to tell Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, your rising sign is Sagittarius.
Okay.
Right. So he's always,
Purple. So he likes purple too.
and he's on the move, and everywhere he goes, everyone thinks he's from a different place.
Also, rust colors are good for Sagittarius.
He's shaking his
He's,
head.
he's kind of got a light purplish red shirt on.
Well,
You
it's
are
like a
colorblind.
it's like a
That-
coral shirt.
Yeah.
Shirt. Yeah, we go with
so-
coral.
or a salmon
Combination
maybe.
of rust and purple.
Yeah,
rust
there
and
we go.
purple.
And it
See?
says risings are the most honest, sometimes to their own detriment.
Okay, is that true?
I don't know. I don't know how true that is. We'll see.
I think you're pretty honest, Matt. I do.
I try to.
Well, they can be blunt. Let's put it that way.
That
We
seems
got a
more
lot of
fair.
Scorpios going on in here. We got I'm Scorpio Moon. You're Scorpio Moon, Matt,
Okay.
and he's Scorpio Sun,
Sun.
Best sign there is.
and yeah,
Yeah. And you guys will have your revenge. There's no two ways about it.
Yes.
So,
you don't
but-
forgive and you don't forget.
Right. Pisces forgives and forgets. Cancer forgives and doesn't forget. And Scorpio doesn't forgive and doesn't forget.
so
Those
we,
are the three water signs.
we had at everybody we had at our over. I don't know when we started the astrology class,
The
and I-
beginning of the pandemic.
at the beginning of the pandemic, and I miss it. Now I had to moderate
You never
sometimes.
missed it. It was done through your store.
No, yeah.
I miss it.
She
No, I
misses
miss
doing it every
doing
Monday
it
night.
Every Monday night.
Oh yeah, I miss
It's
it
fun.
too. Actually,
We've actually had several people. Oh, we still miss that. Can we do it again?
They really people miss it, and I'm one of them.
I'd do it
Do
again.
they want to go to the next level, you mean?
I think they enjoyed it, us having it. So they enjoyed the group. They enjoyed Monty. They enjoyed getting together. They enjoyed what they learned. And I think we could, so we have it available, right?
Yeah, it's still
So
available.
you might want to tell people how they can get that. But I think they also just missed us being in that Zoom, that group together.
It was a lot of fun.
Monty really liked doing it.
But
Yeah.
people learned a lot. I think that you could do another one. I think Roger had asked you to do one about something specific about love
Yeah, if we did
around
some-
Valentine's, maybe. Yeah.
I think if you
Just
did
like a
some,
one-off class, that I would do.
yeah.
What to look for,
Yeah,
For
what to
people-
look for and to stay
compatible-
away from.
Yeah.
compatibility.
I think if you did some and you did them like focus, even if it was like a class or two or three, whatever, but you did them where it's like focus love or focus, career.
I
just
just
like
thought
some
we can do a
focus
thing about,
classes.
chart
Yeah.
comparisons and chart. There's two things you can do when you're looking at how two charts go together. You can see how the charts line up to each other, but you can also blend them so that you sort of average out where the planets are, and it makes a
describes the
complete.
relationship.
It describes a complete relationship.
Yeah.
Like when you do Amy and my chart, we end up with 3 planets on the same exact degree of Pisces, which is very interesting.
In the 5th house, which is the house of creativity.
Yeah.
It's very descriptive of the relationship.
Yeah, we could do that. Sure, let's do it. Because I had a lot of fun. And all this fun and money too, you can't beat it.
And also, they asked Monty to write an astrology book that's sort of like an outgrowth of that class.
Yeah, and if I ever get time to do it, no,
Hi.
I'm doing it right now. Doing it right now, Chris, in case you're watching.
Hi, Chris McClure. I'm sure you are watching this. We also have, and we're coming up on the hour. Matt just kind of give me the signal, but I'm going to see if this is going to show. We were in Vegas and we were in a store. I've told you guys this, but I'm telling this for the listeners. They didn't have really any books in the store, right?
They had just a few, yeah.
They didn't. I went
was-
in there. I was like, I wonder if they have my book in the store. That was a negative.
Oh, I know that feeling.
But they didn't have a lot. And then I saw that they had Psychic Circle, and they also had, and the place in Pigeon Forge did too.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a lot of books either.
No.
But they had that Psychic Circle, and then they also had, I think,
Yeah.
this one.
Because
Big
I was
Chance, but-
because I was taking selfies with it, and they're probably, what the hell's wrong with this guy taking a selfie with this? But I was taking a selfie and texting y'all with it.
Yeah, look, taking that look.
Look where I am and look what I found.
But it wasn't Spencer Gifts, because Spencer Gifts has carried it since it first came out.
It was
Yeah,
not
no.
Spencer. This was a metaphysical store in in
Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh,
Apparently,
the psychic eye.
apparently he owned 15 stores, and whoever this was between
they range
California.
California to Vegas.
And he had we wanted to go in and meet him because we had met him at a crystal convention, not a convention, in Tucson. It's not a convention, a crystal
Expo.
show. And we were buying quite a bit.
That was
I
like
mean, we're spending a lot of
7
money.
years ago.
And no,
6 years. Yeah.
this is with what's her name? Just a couple years ago.
Okay.
And he, well, I'm combining two stories. So but this guy where they had your book, or had the psychic circle, he had just died of an aneurysm, or passed it from an aneurysm. It was really sad because we went in and I said I would like to meet the owner, and we try to go in every time we go into a town, we try to go into almost every store we can hit, and at least buy something, and to support the local stores, so the brick and mortar
Classy
stores.
person.
Yes, I think that we do that too.
We do, but a lot of people
Well, y'all are
did
classy too. And that's the karma, right? Karma card coming back. But usually Roger's the one who wins out, and he gets a knife. So, yeah.
Knives are cool.
How many knives did you bring back from Pigeon Forge from your birthday?
1, 2, 3, 4. 5 knives and 2 choppers.
What's a chopper?
I'll send you a picture. Has a handle on it, and it has like a half moon shaped blade.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Also, it's like for cutting, for chopping,
Or
Onion?
especially herbs, like herbs.
It's like for herbs, but I was thinking, like I was such a little creepy kid with my Barbies. I probably would have used it as a little guillotine for my.
Oh, it worked great for that. Quapcha.
I was creep. I would take the heads off the Barbies and put them on. I don't know, freaky little child that I was, right? So tell us where, besides Soultopia, people can see all of your stuff, because if you could see this table, it is covered with all of your goodies. Okay, so we have as much as we can carry at Soultopia, we have, and keep it in
That's so
stock.
nice of you.
Thank
Another
you.
book you didn't mention that's one of my favorites is your Quantum Affirmations. That is one of my favorite books. Actually, that is one of my favorite books, not just of y'all's stuff. That is one of my favorite books.
So nice.
I think I'm onto something with that book. I would like
It works. Quantum affirmations totally
It
works.
really does, and every once in a while I'll post about it, and I feel, we're all suffering through everybody saying everything is the greatest thing in the world, but with quantum affirmations, it's really helped me and a lot of people change our lives,
And it's not hard to do.
and it's not. It's like I
not.
feel like I stumbled upon this like secret of magic, because on the movie The Secret and in the book The Secret, they tell you can manifest stuff, but they don't tell you how.
They
And
don't.
in quantum affirmations, I tell you how.
I love the book, and so you guys, that one's called Quantum Affirmations. It's really good to get, and any of the stuff the things we have at Soultopia. I will say, because I think we're a little bit over, I will tell you guys that we are having a sale on Black Friday. It's 20% off, and usually Roger takes off books and cards, but you
It's
didn't
everything.
this time. It's every single thing in the store. It's
That's so nice of you to
20%
do.
off. So everybody come in and get your load up for Christmas. We do not have a shortage of here at Soultopia. We planned early, and we have a lot of items for you guys to come get. So, but Monty, Amy, they find you at, where can everybody find you?
TheEnchantedWorld.com or AmyZerner.com or Monte Farber, Monte with an E, Farber.com.
But all of our books are on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and you can see everything we do on our website, TheEnchantedWorld.com. Are you guys online too? Can people buy?
They can buy it online. Look on ours first. I will always tell you, or on Monty and Amy. It's just, wherever you want to buy, but it's always nice to support to support your smaller bookstores if we have it. But
we
certainly-
do. That's why I don't want to even say anything about
No, but
Barnes.
I do, because certainly we can't always get everything in, or we sell out of it, and so then And if you do get it from, just like I'm going to do, when you get your wonderful book, then you want to write a really, really nice review afterwards, after you get your book or your
That's
deck.
important, yes.
It is. It does help. It does help an author to write a review
Do you
on
have
it.
psychic circles in stock?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
the publisher isn't getting them until January. So if you have them, that's great. We have some.
We
Yeah.
have a few we could send you if you want.
We
Yeah.
have some in stock.
I think
we can
but we
check
only
and see
have
how many-
we only had 3 here because I noticed when we got.
and those will. That's something
will
that
sell really
will sell
fast.
for Christmas really, really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll
Also,
probably
the
sell
Enchanted
tomorrow.
Tarot is, I think that's coming in this month.
Oh,
But
good,
there was
because we
trouble
need
with
that.
The supply chain shortage. So
Yep.
some of the books, but our new one, Enchanted Worlds, is definitely in stock.
It is, and we've had this issue where all of a sudden Amazon keeps buying a lot of our stuff before it gets out to the stores, and they don't usually buy it. Usually they take a couple of hundred,
Well, I think it's you guys probably have seen this, but the subject matter is so popular and gotten more popular because people are need answers and they're reaching
Right.
out and learning new skills and understanding themselves better. So astrology, tarot, oracles are all hugely popular.
Yeah, all our stuff is selling out. Like Mindful Astrology came out in April. It's already in its 3rd printing. I think it might be in its 4th printing.
But I think
I don't think we ever got it get it for the store. So everybody, wherever you can get it, and especially the brand new book, I promise you'll love it. It's going to make a great gift for Christmas. And I want to thank you guys, Amy.
Oh,
thank
we
you
love you guys.
it's
We
so
love you
fun to
too.
visit with you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We're going to tell everybody good night for tonight. So, and I want to actually thank Matt Stoker for being our producer. That's not in the beginning reel.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, I want to thank him as always. It's great to see you, Matt. And so, everyone have a wonderful and blessed, if you celebrate Thanksgiving on this Thursday, have a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. And we look forward to seeing everyone next week. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to SoulWhat, a Soultopia production. If you're intrigued, searching, or looking to schedule a reading of your very own, visit us in sunny Dallas, Texas, or visit us online at facebook.com/Soultopia Holistic Boutique. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting platform to be the first to hear new episodes every Tuesday at 7:30 Central.